one team gets ahead after if it goes any more than 5. It can end sooner than that. Carlos Alberto, number 5, had a great shootout goal in the playoffs 2 years ago. An absolutely marvelous goal in a long, long game against Minnesota. Minnesota had killed the Cosmos in the first game out in Minneapolis, and then the Cosmos won the second game. They went to the so-called mini game, and then they went to the sudden death. Then they went to a shootout, and it was the last man, Carlos Alberto here, who did a real fancy move where he bounced the ball off his knee and then
he has his own method of doing it, and that is that he flicks the ball up in the air and bounces it. Now, at that point, the goalkeeper has all sorts of problems, because if he comes running out, Carlos Alberto is going to lob it over his head. If he stays on his line, Carlos Alberto pushes it forward, picks his spot, and fires it past him. Not many players, though, have the confidence to do that.
All right, Carlos will start from the 35-yard line. He can do anything he wants within 5 seconds. There's a clock. You only get 5 seconds to shoot. The goalie can come out, can stay on the line, anything he wants. Not like a penalty kick. There is the clock, and watch it. He must shoot before it goes to 0. 5 attempts for each team. Whistling, booing, hooting, and hollering from the home crowd here.
Most of the booing in this instance, of course, is for the linesman who disallowed that apparently good Washington goal with a few minutes to go in regular time.
And now we got a problem with the clock. It was at 5. Now it's down to 0. Now it's back to 5. Shall we give it a shot, Carlos?
I think you'll see Carlos do the same thing that we've just been describing. I think he will flick the ball up in the air, and this will give Bill Irwin then has to decide whether to come out or stay put.
Okay. Well, keeping it on the ground so far. Still on the ground. The shot. He missed it. He missed it. A good opportunity, and he missed it on the right.
Maybe he should have done what I thought, because I've never seen him miss doing the other one.
Nope. There it is. There's your scoreboard. Zip for New York. Washington with their first attempt, and it'll be fullback Tommy O'Hara taking that.
And statistically, I think, Jim, the number of these shots that are scored upon is something like 1 in 3. So don't expect to see every shot go in by any means.
Washington has not won a shootout so far this year. They sure like to win this one. Here comes Tommy O'Hara. Birkenmeyer's out. And the goalie saved it. Beautiful save. A bold save. Clock goes back to 5. The score 0-0 in the shootout. 1-1 in the game.
Looking a little bit stiff there, but again, a save by the goalkeeper, yes, but misplayed by O'Hara, really. He simply ran the ball too far, almost into the goalkeeper's arms.
Is that clock upside down? Yeah, let's take a look. Okay, now here we have Romero. Julio Cesar Romero. You like Little Caesar for a nickname?
I prefer Julio Cesar. It's
whatever you want.
There's some complaint from Bill Irwin about what's going on behind the goal down there. He doesn't...
yeah, he's having some words with the official.
He's trying to get the official to move people from behind the goal, I think.
Well, there is a chalk line behind which photographers and other extraneous people must stay.
And in front of which everybody is at the moment.
Yeah. Well, there's some feet over it. All right, here comes Romero.
Romero trying Carlos Alberto's trick.
The teenager from Paraguay. And he missed. He missed on the left side.
Well, I think he was too late anyway. The problem was that he was trying to bounce the ball, and you'll notice that, in fact, it didn't bounce. It stayed down.
Vern, do you have any idea if you can hear me what Irwin is shouting about?
Jim, I'm on the Cosmos bench. I'm going to go down to the end zone. We do have a microphone down there. I'll see if I can find out.
Okay. The complaint we understand is that the Cosmos goalkeeper coach, Miguel de Lima, is behind the goal. Here comes Sonny Askew for Washington. And he missed. Very unusual to see this many misses in a row. Birkenmeyer's strategy so far is just to come out and fight him for the ball.
Exactly. It's just coming out and pressuring them to the point where they feel they must shoot. And in fact, at that point, of course, he's right on top of them, and they're shooting straight at him.
Now we have a defender coming out to take this shot, Eskandarian. Andranik Eskandarian. Nothing for either team. So, yeah, the clock's upside down. Sorry about that. And another save by Irwin.
Well, another case where the shot is made straight. I mean, I find it difficult to classify that as a save because the shot is made straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he's sliding. The ball hits his foot.
I don't want to point any fingers, but that's not our clock you're looking at. It's upside down.
There's another look. Well, we see Irwin. This is sort of Irwin's view as he comes out, and there's the shot straight at him.
And now listen to the crowd as Mark Antonio prepares to take the shot. No score for either team so far. 5 men to shoot all together. Here comes Palmer and Mark Antonio. And it hit the post.
Well, you can't get any closer than that. This time he did have Birkenmeyer beat. He hit the post, and it's sometimes shots that hit the post go in. This one came straight out again. So we're still without a score in the shootout.
And here comes Mark Liverich, number 14. All right, Vern, what?
Jim, Miguel de Lima, you had the correct information. They just kicked him out from behind the goal. He was coaching Birkenmeyer, and Bill Irwin was justifiably upset.
Okay, again, the clock will be upside down, but you get the general idea. This is the 4th round of 5 rounds. Here comes Mark Liverich, and he misses on the right. Well, I'll tell you, the excitement here and the roaring of this crowd is such, I think it really, perhaps, has gotten to the players.
It may have done. Of course, tiredness, too, has a lot to do with this. Limbs are very heavy, and I think this is a rather slow-playing surface.
Now listen to the roar, because the man of the day, as far as the Washington fans are concerned, is about to take his shot, Alan Green.
And Alan Green,
frustrated time and again, had a goal taken away from him, had Jeff Durgan all over his back, and now he can put his team ahead in the shootout.
And he is the sort of player who is quick enough, I think, to get close enough to the goalkeeper, but still keep the ball away from him and take his shot.
If Washington is to win the day, he will be an appropriate man to do it. Here comes Alan Green. Out comes the goalkeeper. Here comes the shot. He has to do it, and he misses.
Well, he lost control of the ball at a critical moment. The ball seemed to stick, and he ran ahead of the ball. He had to go back for it, and by that time, of course, Birkenmeyer was all over him.
So the shootout remains scoreless, and here comes Vladislav Bogicevic, the Yugoslavian midfielder for the Cosmos. A man who seldom scores goals, except lately. He has scored 2 goals since Weisballer took over the team as coach. And here comes Bogi.
He's such a cool player, too. He is capable of chipping the ball over the goalkeeper.
And he scores. Washington down to their last shot now, or else they're going to lose it after a long, long afternoon before the biggest crowd they've ever seen at home.
And that's where you see there why Weisballer is a little upset that Bogicevic doesn't take more shots, because he has a very powerful left-footed shot. He hit that at the goalkeeper, but it was simply too strong. It went straight underneath it.
Last chance, and look who it's going to be. Robert Garusi, the Canadian who scored their only goal today on a penalty kick in the first half. The man who was so irate during the incident with the linesman and the disallowed goal. What it would mean to him to tie this up right now would be hard to explain to you. The Canadian against the German goalkeeper. This is it. Watch the clock. Here's the shot, and the Cosmos have won it. After 90 minutes of soccer, after 15 minutes of sudden death overtime, and after a shootout going to the last round, the New York Cosmos have again beaten the Washington Diplomats in an overtime shootout. A happy Hennis Weisballer there. What a day. We sure hope you'll be with us next week. And we got fans on the field, but they're getting them under control. Unfortunately, it's in here. Next week, remember, Tampa Bay at Fort Lauderdale. That will be a bitter rivalry. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports. And I mean right now, travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. This has been an ABC Sports presentation. See you downstairs.